The State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time to check in with CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk State of Crypto newsletter, and potentially Satoshi Nakamoto. Welcome, Nick. How are you?
We are all Satoshi.
Good morning. I am good. How are you?
Very good. So our friend Do Kwon has passport issues, apparently, which is amazing. I mean, you know, it is why he was in Asia. Although I don't know what the reason why he was there.
Because if you're Asian, you have to live in Asia.
You have to live in...
You just have to.
I mean, you have to, obviously.
But why is he having passport issues, Nick?
Yeah, what's going on with his passport?
Yeah, so we're hearing reports out of South Korea that officials are moving to seize his passport and invalidate it. We were talking about this yesterday. You know, it seems that Do Kwon is in Singapore right now, where, you know, he's had residence for quite a while, and where Terraform Labs was moving to prior to the collapse of Terra and Luna. It seems that South Korea would like Singapore to extradite Do Kwon to South Korea to face the, you know, charges we were discussing yesterday, ahead of presumably, you know, the actual arrest and the efforts to, you know, try and figure out just what happened with the Terraform Labs and the entire collapse of that entire ecosystem earlier this year.
And for the record, Singapore is in Asia as well, as Do Kwon would like to point out. But he's been tweeting, right? He's tweeting. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's somewhere tweeting somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I was not really on Twitter until last night, so I might have missed those tweets. Yeah. But I know he did tweet a picture of a moon sometime yesterday, so up to interpretation what that means.
Well, Nick, so South Korea also issued that arrest warrant for Do Kwon. Are there any new developments that we know of so far about what's happening there?
Not that I'm aware of. My understanding is they're still investigating. They're just trying to get Do Kwon, 5 of his former colleagues, together to face these charges, or at least, you know, continue through this investigation. You know, based on Do Kwon's tweets, I guess the question now is, will he voluntarily travel back to South Korea to face these charges, or will the country hope that Singapore, or wherever he currently actually is, if he's not in Singapore, will arrest him and send him back on their own behalf?
Those were pictures, by the way, of Do Kwon being very relaxed. And speaking of relaxed, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler is saying that potentially the SEC should look at a way to register tokens in a more relaxed way, if you will, or at least be flexible. What's that about?
That's a stretch, man. Yeah, so
I got to make a segue.
Fair enough. So today, SEC Chair Gary Gensler will be in front of the House or Senate Banking Committee. It's going to be a hearing on SEC oversight. Crypto is going to be one of the issues that comes up. It's unclear how exactly, but, you know, we already know for sure that, for example, Senator Pat Toomey, the ranking Republican on the committee, wants to ask about, you know, not only the SEC's approach, but also just kind of, you know, some of these issues that have been outstanding that the SEC has not really weighed in on, such as Celsius and Voyager. I imagine we're also probably going to hear from, you know, members of both parties about these collapses, given that the SEC did, you know, bring charges against BlockFi and settled those. So, you know, the question might be, why weren't Celsius and Voyager on that list? In his pre-written testimony, which was published yesterday, Chair Gensler said that, you know, he's directed his staff to create a more flexible pathway to, registration for crypto exchanges and trading platforms. What that's going to look like in practice is unclear. You know, hopefully one of the lawmakers will ask, you know, what the specifics might look like, or, you know, what companies and exchanges should know. It's also worth mentioning that also today, at the same time, the Senate Agriculture Committee will be holding a hearing on its bill to give the CFTC some greater jurisdiction. CFTC Chair Rostin Benham will be testifying. After him will come a panel of crypto experts, including, you know, Coinbase employees and policy wonks. So, keep an eye on that as
Is it
well,
gonna be
because the big question will be, where is the line between CFTC and SEC jurisdiction?